They said the
The
page
terms
had
outlined
shifted.
here are non-negotiable
That was the
and essential
explanation.
to our future
A
operations.
filing mistake,
Please
a
read
slight
them thoroughly.
movement, nothing intentional, nothing
This
important.
confirms our agreement.
That was how they wanted it to sound.
Yes, everything
Simple,
seems in order.
mechanical, forgettable. Because once a page looked slightly off, most people stopped asking whether all of it had moved together. That was the
Look
mistake.
right here. This
A real
entire
shift
section
carried
is shifted.
everything with
We
it.
need to adjust the margins
Text,
immediately.
margin, spacing, position. It did not move one part and leave another behind. The document lay on the desk between them. Flat. Official. One block of text sat a little farther right than expected. That was what they wanted her to see. A page out of place, a minor drift, a line that simply sat where it shouldn't. The man across from her didn't look worried. He looked settled. It shifted, he said. Calm, easy, certain, and as if movement explained itself just by being named. For most people, it did. Because once alignment looked slightly off, they stopped asking which edge had remained exact. That was the comfort of displacement. Sarah looked at the page, not at the text block, at the margin, at the narrow line of space where the page should have carried the same offset all the way down. That was the difference. Other people saw movement. Sarah saw refusal. A woman to the side relaxed too early. Another person pressed the page slightly flatter against the desk, as if pressure could make misalignment look natural. That was useful. It meant they believed a shift was enough. Sarah leaned forward, not to question the page itself, to compare what had moved to what had not. That was where the story broke. A true page shift would pull the whole structure with it. This one didn't. The text block sat farther right, but the margin marker beside it remained perfectly fixed. That was the problem. The page had not shifted. A section of it had. The reference edge still held. The text alone had drifted away from it. That was worse, because filing error could be blamed on handling. But movement that spared the margin belonged to replacement, to insertion, to something inside the page being moved without the page moving at all. Sarah looked again, not at the words, at the left margin, then the shifted text,
right
then
here,
the fixed marker beside
there's
it.
a clear
The man across from her
discrepancy in
noticed the
alignment.
pause. His shoulders changed before his face did. That was enough. What is it? The woman asked. Too soon, too exposed. Sarah placed one finger beside the fixed margin line, then moved it to the text block sitting farther right. This
I can feel
stayed,
it.
she said.
It's fragmented.
Then she held the displaced text.
We
This
have to
moved.
hold it together.
It
Silence.
has to align, the margin
No
is
one
fixed.
interrupted.
But the data is
Because
still
movement
shifting.
was
It
not
won't
opinion.
resolve.
Wait,
It
look
was
at the screen.
relation.
It's happening.
And relation was hard to deny once one side refused to follow the other. The man leaned forward, looked at the margin again, then the text block, then back again. He didn't answer. That was the answer. The woman to the side straightened slowly. Another person stopped touching the page. That was how certainty broke. Not when the page looked off, when the page proved it had not moved as one. The same sheet they called shifted, now exposed the part that had drifted without the rest. Sarah didn't push further. She didn't need to. The margin was doing enough
The
already.
growth metrics are
One
strong
edge,
across the board.
one block,
Unless...
one distance that should
Wait,
have
gentlemen,
matched.
I assure you
Three
this is just a
details that
minor
should have
glitch.
protected their version. Now turning against it. The man sat back, careful now, no longer settled. The document remained open between them, still printed, still formal, still presentable, and no longer believable. Sarah stepped back half a pace, still there, still watching, but no longer proving. Because one margin stays fixed while the text moves, shift stops being the explanation. And sometimes, the fastest way to expose what was moved inside a page is not to ask whether the page shifted. It is to ask which edge never moved with the rest.
Every detail is in place. Stay with me for the final reveal. Subscribe now.